Michael allegedly got married, privately, and TLC hasn't acknowledged it at all? Not one headline, not one teaser, not even a cryptic promo from their usual drama machine. The same franchise that aired Angela's tooth whitening journey in HD somehow skipped over a literal wedding? Something's not adding up, and fans clocked it fast. Because while Michael was off celebrating a brand new marriage, the rest of us were still stuck wondering if he and Angela were even still talking. And turns out, they weren't. Not even a little. Welcome to TLC Drama Files. I'm Oliva, and today, we're pulling back the curtain on what might be the messiest quiet scandal in recent 90-day history. Subscribe if you're brave enough to keep up with this chaos, and drop your wildest theory in the comments right now. Who do you think Michael married? And did TLC really not know? Now, let's not pretend Michael's love life hasn't been a full-on roller coaster since his very first season. Back then, he was the charming young Nigerian caught in the gravitational pull of Angela Deem's volcanic personality. Their relationship? Unfiltered, messy, sometimes weirdly sweet. But mostly, it was war. Power struggles, endless breakups, epic screaming matches through phone screens across countries. It was every soap opera trope crammed into one couple, plus Wi-Fi problems. But here's where things took a left turn. At some point during all the chaos, after years of devotion, manipulation, accusations, visa battles, cheating scandals, and phone smashing, Michael went quiet. Not just social media quiet, emotionally quiet. That guy who used to beg for understanding, who tried to keep peace even when Angela was throwing plates, he stepped back. Carefully, then completely. And now, reportedly, he's married to someone else, not rumored. Not maybe dating. Married off camera, and TLC hasn't released a single frame about it. So the question becomes, was it hidden to protect him? Or suppressed by the producers? Because, let's be honest, a marriage this quiet doesn't happen by accident, not with a franchise that zooms in on people crying in airports for 15 minutes. Normally, they'd stretch this kind of reveal over 3 episodes and a spin-off. Yet we got nothing. No confessionals, no promo leaks, no pre-release buzz. It's like it never happened unless you were paying attention. The biggest twist? Angela allegedly had no idea either. She found out like the rest of us through social media rumors and blurry screenshots. And if you know Angela, you know that kind of silent treatment isn't her style. She doesn't respect people's peace. She shows up loud, explosive, uninvited, so the fact that she hasn't gone full livestream meltdown yet, that's strange and possibly terrifying. What was going on behind the scenes that made Michael skip the wedding bells and go straight into witness protection? Is this about emotional survival, or is something even messier brewing off camera? Because here's the thing. Michael's sudden choice to go private after years of letting producers into the most toxic parts of his relationship, that's not just personal growth. That's strategy and makes you wonder, was Angela the show's villain or just the most visible distraction? You think the timing of Michael's secret wedding was random? Wait until you hear what fans spotted the day before. Keep watching. What happens next flipped the entire fandom upside down. TLC has always known exactly what keeps fans glued to their screens, and it's not peace, quiet, and healthy boundaries. This franchise feeds on chaos, screaming matches, growth spirals, emotional combustion. So when Michael, one of the most recognizable names in 90-Day Fiancé history, allegedly gets married in private and walks away from all of that chaos, TLC goes radio silent, not because they forgot, but because peace doesn't sell. Think about it. They've aired 4 entire spin-offs based on Ashley and Jay breaking up in different time zones. They casually gave Big Ed an entire second career based on graphic breakups and mayonnaise applications. But Michael gets legally married, supposedly starts a whole new life, and the network says absolutely nothing. That silence feels curated and familiar. This wouldn't be the first time TLC edited truth into fiction. Remember when Kalani's cheating plotline was teased for weeks, only for the real story to explode on social media first? Or when Natalie low-key hinted at a breakup long before producers admitted she was done with Mike? TLC has a track record not of missing news, but of holding it hostage, timing big reveals for ratings, building suspense until fans can't look away. They're not storytellers, they're emotional puppeteers. So when Michael's wedding slipped under the radar, fans didn't just ask what happened. They asked why it wasn't shown. Was it too real? Too respectful? Not messy enough for the cameras? Michael spent years having every intimate part of his relationship picked apart. Immigration interviews, fertility conversations, his own masculinity questioned on national television. Maybe this time he wanted something for himself. No producers, no performative love, just a ceremony without cameramen whispering pickup lines into his ear. But here's where things start spiraling. TLC knows the Michael and Angela dynamic is gold. Their fights are viral. Their energies are completely incompatible. But paired together, they light up the screen in the exact kind of way TLC can market. So Michael finding a partner who respects his privacy, a relationship with no screaming and shouty caps texts, that doesn't serve their bottom line. In fact, it threatens the very formula they rely on. And if producers weren't hiding it, how do you explain them still trying to contact Michael as recently as last month, according to Insider Tea? Was it about filming new content or damage control? At what point does a cast member's happiness start to mess with the network's strategy? If TLC really didn't know, why were producers allegedly still contacting Michael last month? Because the moment Michael took his storyline into his own hands, he did something far more dangerous than cheating or ghosting. He got boring. He got honest. He got free, and TLC doesn't know what to do when the drama disappears. Angela Deem found out from fan pages. Not a heads-up text, not a DM, not even a subtle warning. Just logged into Instagram one morning and saw people asking how it feels to be the ex-wife now. And reportedly, it didn't go down well. People close to the situation say Angela was caught so off guard, she initially thought it was a hoax, until she saw the photo, the ring, the timestamp. Michael allegedly tied the knot, quietly, fully, legally, without her. And once it hit her this wasn't a dream or a producer prank, Angela did something none of us expected. She went silent. And that's when people really started freaking out. Because silence? That is not Angela's love language. Her love language is yelling. Her secondary love language is live streaming while yelling. Normally, when news breaks that hurts her pride, she hits Instagram within 10 minutes, set up in the car, sunglasses on, seatbelt off, ready to drag whoever crossed her. That didn't happen. No rants, no memes, no bottle-throwing energy. Instead, radio silence, an eerie echoing quiet. The kind that feels less like Zen and more like the 30 seconds before a fire alarm goes off. And fans noticed. They've seen this woman go ballistic over late-night phone calls, fan comments, cast members who breathed in Michael's direction. The idea that she would discover a whole actual secret marriage and say nothing? That doesn't scream growth. That screams stunned silence. Angela's handle stayed active, but off topic. A recipe post here, a birthday shout out there. But behind the scenes, multiple sources allege she was stewing, sitting with it, processing, then reportedly calling producers to ask what the hell was going on. Because the truth is, if Michael's married, that changes everything. Not just romantically, but legally, financially, emotionally. It redraws the power balance between them completely. For years, Angela controlled the narrative. She paid his bills, controlled his immigration story, called the shots even from thousands of miles away. And now, he's done something major and didn't need her permission, approval, or camera-ready meltdown to do it. Let's not forget how volcanic this dynamic used to be. Flashback to her screaming, "I'm hurt," in the middle of a Nigerian cafe while Michael tried not to cry in public. Remember those infamous car arguments where she snatched his phone, ran down the street, and accused him of cheating based on emojis? This isn't just reality TV. This was textbook entanglement on camera. And now, silence. Angela quiet for this long? That's not peace. That's pressure building. And if Angela's storm hasn't hit yet, it might be because she's letting it build. No one's heard her side. Not officially. But she's still posting enough to let us know she's watching. She still tags producers in unrelated content. She still likes shady fan comments on other cast members' pages. All of it suggests one thing. She's waiting for the right moment. Because when Angela finally responds, it's not going to be subtle. If history repeats, it'll land like a Molotov cocktail made of broken trust and cigarette ash. The only question is, who's standing with her when that bomb drops? And will TLC be filming? If they aren't already, they're about to miss another explosion. Some fans call it growth, others call it a plot twist no one saw coming. But here's what most viewers agree on. Michael Ilesanmi choosing to marry in secret wasn't a random decision. It was intentional. Some say self-preservation, others say self-respect. Either way, it feels like the end of the version of Michael we met on that very first season, the one who looked into the camera with pure hope and endless yes ma'ams, trying to make things work, even when it clearly wasn't working. So why now? Why private? Why not even give TLC a heads up? The simplest theory? He's tired. Not just emotionally exhausted, but done being on display. After years of being Angela's on-camera punching bag, Michael may have decided that real love, whatever form it takes now, shouldn't come with confessionals, drama coaching, or endless green screen interviews. And maybe the woman he chose this time around feels the same way. Someone low-key, off social media, not interested in becoming the next franchise face, which would be refreshing. Then again, there's another angle that fans won't stop analyzing. Michael's social media started changing long before the wedding rumors popped up. For months now, he's been more distant from the franchise ecosystem. His posts became sparse. The flashy selfies slowed down. He started showing more day-to-day moments, fewer hashtags, fewer throwbacks to TLC. There was even that one story over a year ago, barely noticed when it first happened, where he posted a quote about protecting peace at any cost. At the time, it seemed vague. Now, feels like foreshadowing, because Michael's story has been building toward a quiet ending for a while. We just didn't see it. Not with Angela's energy dominating every scene. But if you go back, really go back, you'll notice it wasn't always fireworks. There were cracks years ago. Remember during Happily Ever After, when Michael started hesitating on Angela's demands? When he stopped instantly agreeing with everything and began pushing back. Softly, but clearly. He wanted control over his Instagram. She wanted to shut it down. He asked to have some independence. She flew to Nigeria unannounced. His face was saying no, even when the words still said yes. By the time they started filming separately, it wasn't just a logistics thing, it was symbolic. Michael was emotionally checking out. TLC's camera caught it, but didn't spotlight it, because it doesn't scream ratings. So the audience stayed focused on Angela's outbursts, not Michael's withdrawals. Now, his silence makes more sense. There's a quiet strength to choosing a life outside of the chaos. It doesn't go viral, but it does protect your sanity. And for someone like Michael, whose storyline was always driven by outside forces, visa status, producers, Angela's temper, maybe this was the first major chapter he genuinely wrote for himself. No grand speeches, no leaked proposals, just privacy. But here's the twist. Michael may have hinted at this over a year ago, and nobody spotted it. So what else have we missed while following the loudest voices in the room? And more importantly, who was paying enough attention to catch him slipping away before TLC even realized he was gone? Keep watching, because everything's about to shift when the identity of that bride gets closer to being confirmed. And trust me, it's not who most fans are guessing. As soon as the rumor hit that Michael had secretly tied the knot, the fan communities exploded. Reddit threads lit up like it was primetime scandal hour. Instagram pages that usually did meme recaps started zooming in on blurry screenshots like forensic analysts. Facebook sleuths? They were digging through tagged photos, mutual follows, even Pinterest boards. Yes, really. It went that deep. It didn't take long before someone noticed Michael's most recent photo looked a little different. Not his face, not the lighting, but his hand. Specifically, a ring. On that finger, not flashy, not staged, just there. Quiet, like it wasn't supposed to be the focus. But for 90 Day fans, nothing goes unnoticed for long. A user on Reddit's 90 Day Fiancé TLC forum posted a side-by-side, comparing older pics without it. Within minutes, replies poured in. Some pointed out a change in his bio, quietly removed his fan page tags. Others said they'd spotted a mysterious woman in his story flash from months back, shown only for a second. No tag, no caption, just there. Theories started stacking. One swore the mystery bride was someone local from Nigeria, never intended for camera life. Another claimed she's been around for years, maybe even before Angela, but stepped aside when the franchise caught steam. A whole group thinks it might be someone who works with production, hence the secrecy. And then came the wildest theory of all. This could be TLC's buried subplot. That they knew, filmed it, and are holding it for a shocking reveal next season. Soon, the drama jumped platforms. TikTok had reaction videos stitching Angela's old tirades with montage clips of Michael smiling in silence, calling it the perfect revenge wedding. Instagram pages started picking apart timestamps. Viewers were syncing Michael's quietest moments with Angela's loudest ones from past episodes to guess when the emotional clean break happened. Some dragged TLC for sleeping on the story of the year. Others argued this is the story and we're all just watching it late. No confirmation, no denial. Just quiet clues and loud speculation. And the energy is unmatched. One deleted post, one ring photo, and fans think they cracked the whole secret in 3 hours. And here's the question the fanbase won't stop asking. Are fans finding what TLC couldn't or wouldn't? That's what's fueling the frenzy. Because whether this was an innocent love story or a backdoor betrayal, it's playing out where the cameras aren't. On random screenshots, shaky stories, cached images. And the longer TLC stays quiet, the louder the theories get. The fans aren't just watching the show anymore. They're rewriting it, frame by frame, and that little white ring hiding on Michael's finger might just be holding the next giant clue. But the biggest mystery still hangs in the air. Who is she? And why won't anyone say her name out loud? The silence around Michael's new bride isn't calming anyone down. It's making the obsession worse. Because in the 90-Day Fiancé universe, the absence of drama doesn't mean peace. It means mystery. And mystery is pure oxygen to this fandom. At this point, it's less about the wedding and more about the who. Who is this woman that flew so far under the radar she managed to marry one of the most memeable men in franchise history without setting off alarms at TLC headquarters? No teasers, no cameo, no awkward green screen interviews where she sits next to Michael with the classic, "I love him, but" tone. Nothing. And fans are spiraling. Reddit's best theory: she's a local woman from Nigeria who kept her distance during the whole Angela Michael saga and then decided, quietly, to build something when the cameras weren't looking. That would explain the privacy and possibly even why Michael and TLC started drifting apart. Because if she didn't want a network contract or a segment producer assigned to her DMs, she'd be the exact opposite of everything the show usually markets. Other fans think the complete opposite, that she is from the US, but she's been under the radar on purpose. Imagine a low-key K1 process running quietly in the background this whole time, far from the chaos of Angela's public breakdowns. And then there's the craziest theory, the one picking up serious traction. Some viewers now believe the new bride has already been in the show. A blurred face, a background extra, maybe even someone lightly associated with production, or an off-camera cast member from a prior season. It sounds wild until you realize how many TLC storylines have kicked off that quietly. Remember how Asuelu's mom went full villain after 2 episodes? Or how Pedro's family started small, then dominated entire spin-offs? What if Michael's new chapter is already in motion, and TLC's been holding it like a poker card? Then add in the legal whispers. Fans have been scouring public record forums, and according to some, there may already be an overseas marriage registration. Just not in the US, which means it wouldn't show up in the usual state court systems, but would still count in the eyes of immigration. That opens up a million new possibilities. Was K1 involved? Will we see Michael in America again, but with an entirely new partner? Will they fold that back into the franchise or pretend it never happened? The wildest part? We still don't have a confirmed name. No tagged photos. No public congratulations from mutuals. It's like she doesn't exist, which makes fans need to know even more. Because in a show built on overexposure, disappearing into a private life almost feels like betrayal. The most shocking part? This bride may have been around longer than Angela ever was. Fans found a blurry photo from a family event that's allegedly from over 3 years ago. A woman seen beside Michael's cousin, always positioned slightly behind him. People are now reverse searching that face, looking up old Facebook friend lists. At this rate, by next week, the fanbase will launch a search party with satellite tech. But beyond the gossip and guesses, there's something deeper bothering longtime viewers. This marriage might be the realest one Michael's ever had, and they won't get to watch it. TLC let us enter every meltdown he had with Angela. They showed his tears, his doubts, his stress, his phone being snatched mid-call. But now that he might be genuinely happy, the cameras are suspiciously off. There's a slow simmering resentment building, not toward Michael, but toward the franchise. Because for the fans who've stuck around this long, through years of chaotic couples and staged surprises, there's a deeper question forming now. Could 90-Day Fiancé survive if its most-watched storylines end happily, but off-screen? And what happens if more cast members start hiding their real wins the same way Michael just did? This bride's silence may hold more power than any screaming match ever aired, and if she ever steps forward publicly, it could rewrite the whole show. Michael may have finally found peace, but he left behind a trail of emotional wreckage that's shaking the 90-Day Fiancé fandom to its core. The man who spent years being dragged through emotional warfare, live-streamed breakups, and immigration purgatory walked away, quietly, no exit speech, no reunion segment, No flashy plot twist. Just slipped into a new life, off camera. Meanwhile, Angela is somewhere still processing the sound of that metaphorical door slamming shut. And now, fans want answers. Not from Michael, but from TLC, because this isn't just a relationship update, it's a franchise betrayal. 90 Day Fiancé built its empire on watching real, messy, wildly unpredictable relationships unfold in full view. And when those relationships go sideways, TLC doesn't just air it, they milk it. Colt and Larissa fighting outside the apartment, months of coverage. Big Ed's mayonnaise saga, that's borderline merchandised. Natalie and Mike's silent divorce arc, it became a whole new spin-off. But Michael getting married? In real life? That story vanished like a producer's ethics on finale week. And fans are starting to ask, did TLC choose not to cover it because there were no fireworks to film? Or did Michael finally pull off something rare? An off-ramp from production that wasn't blocked by a renewal clause? Either way, the impact is deeper than one silent wedding. Michael's journey was always more than just drama. He represented intention, patience, restraint, and in a universe where characters build fame off chaos, hate follows, and messy confessionals, he stood out. So, the fact that his final big moment happened without the franchise, that might be his most important move yet. There's something deeply ironic here, maybe even poetic. We've watched lies, betrayal, and screaming matches become primetime entertainment. But now that someone might have found genuine love, that scene was left on the cutting room floor. No rehash, no spin, no closure. And that has fans asking harder questions. How much of what we see is narrative, not reality? How many other stories were filtered out for not being messy enough? If Michael filmed a goodbye, would TLC even air it? Or would they keep things vague and wait for Angela's next outburst to prop up the ratings? Because while the show keeps pushing big drama, the audience is starting to crave something different. Truth. Not perfect love stories, but real ones. With all the boring, honest, emotionally clean parts that franchise producers usually skip. What Michael just did shouldn't be radical. But in this machine, it kind of is. Fans aren't mad that he walked away from the chaos. They're mad the cameras weren't there when he finally escaped it. And maybe that's why his silence hits harder than any breakup line could have. It wasn't explosive. It was final. If this wedding really happened off camera, what else happened off camera that we never saw? Because right now, fans are going back, scanning old footage, searching for missed red flags, quiet smiles, untold stories, and more importantly, they're wondering who might be next. Because when a breakout star like Michael disappears into a real life, the cameras can't control. It sends a ripple through the entire franchise. Not every cast member wants to be Angela. Not every couple wants to sell their heartbreak for a storyline. And some of them might already be pulling a Michael. Now imagine if this trend continues. Private ceremonies, ghosted production calls, real love growing in the absence of editing notes. Could it be the downfall of reality TV as we know it? We'll find out, because while this story may feel concluded, there's a new thread unraveling as we speak. And in the next video, we're diving straight into it. What happened between Angela and TLC right after Michael disappeared? What she was asked to film, what she refused to do, and why fans think Angela's next move might finally burn the bridge for good. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss that.